Flash presents the return of Sizzla. Performing live.
Yeah, let them know.
Sizzla Kalanji.
Get to the point. Yeah, this the Rasta man and I'm born with chalice when we Yankee gun.
Alongside Pressure Bus Pipe.
We give you some love and affection.
Pressure Bus Pipe and Sizzla Kalanji. Performing live.
I got to take myself away from all these things that's hurting me.
And a star-studded DJ cast. Friday, May 17th at Zion Yard. Doors open at 8 p.m. Showtime 11 p.m. Tickets available now on VIPSocio.com. That's VIPSocio.com. For more info, call 904-600-1077. The return of Sizzla.
You're looking for a home? You're looking for land? Look no further. Elite Realty Dominica got you covered. Whether it's to buy a home or build a home or just an investment property, contact Nicole London at 888-860-2366. That's 888-860-2366. Or you can log on to DominicaEliteRealty.com for all your inquiries and questions. Elite Realty Dominica, where exquisite living is defined by nature.
That's just how we roll.
Let me tell you who I'm rolling with. I am rolling with the Dot Experiment. I don't know if you ever heard of them before, but the Dot Experiment is here to help you with all your cell phone and computer needs. The Dot Experiment is here for all your tech, all your software problems, whether it's the storage full, your laptop won't boot, or you're just tired of your current setup, or you're just looking for tech support. The Dot Experiment is the only way to go. Call them today.
That's just how we roll.
Let me tell you who I'm rolling with. I am rolling with the Dot Experiment. I don't know if you ever heard of them before, but the Dot Experiment is here to help you with all your cell phone and computer needs. The Dot Experiment is here for all your tech, all your software problems, whether it's the storage full, your laptop won't boot, or you're just tired of your current setup, or you're just looking for tech support. The Dot Experiment is the only way to go. Call them today, 404-259-1343, or you can email them at support@thedotexperiment.com for a free consultation. Don't waste your money buying tech stuff and tech software that you don't understand and don't know how to use. Contact the Dot Experiment, the professionals in fixing all your stuff, man. So before you buy that cell phone, before you get that computer, contact the Dot Experiment. It's the only way to go. I'm telling you, that's how we rolling over here.
Tonight.
Give it to me, do it to me, give it to me. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. The way you make me.
Do you like music like this? That's right, I'm asking you. Do you like music like this? Then why have you not been to Sophisticated Saturday as yet? That's right, each and every third Saturday of the month, we call it Sophisticated Saturdays. Where we keep it at? Caribbeanlifetv Studios. 6254 Memorial Drive is the only place to be each and every third Saturday of the month. So if you want to celebrate your birthday, if you just want to come hang out and have some fun with grown people having big fun, Sophisticated Saturdays is the only place to be. It's brought to you by yours truly, DJ Reds, and my boy, Mr. B. Sophisticated Saturdays, every third Saturday of the month, 6254 Memorial Drive is where the grown people go and have good, clean fun. Every third Saturday of the month, man. The way you make me feel, I'm just going to have fun. I'll see you there. Sophisticated Saturdays. I got you.
Step up, one ya. Step up, one ya. Blend them, Everton blender. Blend them, under roots and culture. Blend them, Everton blender. Blend them, under roots and culture. Me used to sing a dance, we never get no money. I was spreading good words to everybody. Now we are spread it universally. There's a lot more you gonna hear from me. Blend them, Everton blender. Blend them, under roots and culture. Blend them, Everton blender. Blend them, under roots and culture. Some may try to criticize me, but I'm walking in the footsteps of the Almighty. You know you hear them a say, A whole boobaroo him a mash up the place. Hear the next few I say. Long time him a sing, make him go and go away. Blend them, Everton blender. Blend them, under roots and culture. Blend them, Everton blender. Blend them, under roots and culture. Wonder if you see what I mean. Nothing naughty, pure reality. That's what you'll always hear from me. My people of the Almighty. One love to every good. My people of the Almighty. Spread your words continually. Blend them, Everton blender. Blend them, under roots and culture. Blend them, Everton blender. Blend them, under roots and culture. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Bouncing Tuesday on you. This is Caribbean Extravaganza on a Tuesday evening. Very pleasant good evening to each and every one. Pastor Rob here with Miss Sharon. How you doing on this Tuesday? DJ Reds on the ones and twos. In the background sounds of none of them, Mr. Everton Blender. We're blending it up on this Tuesday evening to get started. How you doing?
Excellent, excellent. How are you?
Doing all right, doing all right. Well rested. Spring has sprung. And I have sprung up with it,
I
so
can't
to
say the
speak.
same.
Yes. A beautiful day. Busy weekend. You know, things are starting to get busy in and around the Atlanta area. Once again, we have 1,001 things to do, different places to go, and you know, Miss Sharon right here, she got to be at everything. So you know. I don't know. How was the mileage?
I don't know about that because I can't be at everything. I mean, I try my best to support everybody, but you know what? It's tough. I mean, really, I'm stretched thin, Pastor Rob. Stretched thin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had quite a few activities this weekend, but you know, I'll be honest. I made it worth the while. I mean, I showed my face, and I was pleased because I presented my face and made a difference. You know what I mean? So supporting each and every one that I can. The others I missed out on, but I heard, you know, the happenings happened without me. So it's all good.
Yeah, well, you know, I was able to go down to the sugarcane performance on Saturday
Nice.
evening, and
See, you represented me.
yeah, represented. You know, put my face in the place, so to speak, and watch them do some old quadrille dances and all the different
Said quadrille,
quadrilles. Yeah.
Quadrille. You know what that is, Reds? That's before your time.
Yeah, man. They have different names for them now. Yeah, man. But you know, that's where the roots of the music, the
Yes.
dancing come from.
Yes.
And it was good to see the old folks come back with the old singing again, old time songs again. You know, some Negro spirituals were in there too. So you know, it was a great evening. Elaine Bryant and we had quite a few dignitaries in the place. You know, so it was a great evening.
Wow. And we here this evening, we have when I tell you jam-packed, we've got a jam-packed evening here.
Yeah.
Filled with excitement. I mean, we've got great, and we're going to jump into it. We just want to say thank you for joining us this evening on Caribbean Extravaganza. It's just another of those evenings, but we want to just say welcome. We are going to jump right into it because we've got some amazing folks lined up for you. I've got here Pastor Shaw. We've got here online. We've got Dr. Maya, and I probably kind of screwed that up a little bit, so she's going to straighten me out.
Okay.
You know, we've got Dr. Hill, and Autism Awareness Month ends today. But like I tell everyone, awareness never ends.
Okay, good.
It just never ends. And that, with that in mind, I will say this much, that these ladies are personally connected, especially Dr. Maya, right? And so I am going to go ahead and introduce to you the first speaker or first guest of the evening. She's personally connected to this issue, and it's not. I mean, it's it's different. What should I say? Approaches that are taken. I mean, different avenues. We have to be aware. I mean, growing up, I didn't have a clue about that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm like, what is that? What's autism? What we know it to be now and back then was way different. So I'm just going to say, look, we are going to jump into it, and we're going to go ahead and introduce to you our first guest of the evening. Dr. Maia, are you there? Are you there, Dr. Maia?
Okay.
Technical difficulties, huh?
DJ Red's working to get her up here, and she'll be on in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll just jump back on.
Right. Autism, huh? We're going to be speaking about that this evening, huh? Wow. A little education, background on autism and what it is, and how can we recognize it. You said as growing up, we actually probably saw many of the symptoms, but didn't realize.
Didn't have a clue what it was.
What it was,
Yes.
So, yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay.
Let's get back in there. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on here. Just be patient with us, please, while we get it together here.
Yeah, just smile for me and let the day begin. You are the sunshine that lights my heart within, yeah. And I know that you're an angel in disguise. Come take my hands and together we will fly on the wings of love. Only the two of us together flying high on the wings of love. Only the two of us together flying high upon the wings of love. Yeah. You look at me and I begin to melt, just like the snow when the ray of sun is fell, yeah. And I know that you're an angel in disguise. Come take my hands and together we will fly on the wings of love.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Yeah? Are you there? Okay. I'm hearing an echo and getting feedback.
Mute your stuff over there. Mute it. Mute you. Is muted?
Okay, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay.
Keep going.
Hello. Doc, are you there?
Yes, I heard her. She's there.
Okay. Alrighty, so Dr. Maya, can you just go ahead and let's get kicked off because I'm getting a little feedback here, but go ahead and just introduce yourself to the folks. And so we can jump right into it. What do you do? What is autism? How do you approach it? What does it look like? What is autism? What does it look like? Thank you so much for joining us, by the way. Thank you both.
Dr. Maya. I'm one of the co-founders of the M Center, and I'm a certified pediatrician. However, my son regressed into autism difficulty turn 2, at which point a very good girlfriend had 2 books delivered to me within 2 days of me realizing what was happening, talking about how autism was treatable. And I read it with a grain of salt. And some of it resonated with me. I went and started Googling things, found things on the CDC website that correlated with what I was reading. Took it to our pediatrician. I said, hey, can we try these things? And we did, and we saw immense improvement very quickly. Autism is a social behavioral disorder which is diagnosed by observing a certain set of symptoms that includes but are not limited to difficulty with social interaction, avoidance of eye contact, with not engaging in joint attention or playing with other people perhaps, as well as it can entail speech delay and other social communication issues in terms of being able to understand and express language, which are 2 different things. And it can look very different, which is why it's called autism spectrum disorder. And so you can have what we refer to as very high functioning children that, may be in a typical classroom, for instance, but may need special assistance with processing certain things. And then you can have others that are very impacted and have severe apraxia, which inhibits their ability to speak and communicate their thoughts, wants, and needs effectively. And so, starting this journey, I was introduced to a friend and now my business partner, and we began to help each other with information for both of our children, or all 3 of our children, rather. And then we started helping a friend and a friend of a friend, and then we realized that we needed to set up an infrastructure to help support what we were doing for people in our communities to help other families just like ours. And so we both have seen tremendous growth in all of our children and improvement. The understanding that we have in this world regarding autism is that it's multifactorial. And so there are some genetic variants that make you more predisposed to being impacted by environmental insults, nutritional deficiencies, infections, and different things. And then the last straw hits, oftentimes people may report a regression or loss of skills. And so with that, our goal is to investigate what is probably contributing to how we got here for your particular family. So we do a really deep dive into the pregnancy, the family history, the environment, the medical history, and then we do extensive lab work and we see how we can put all these pieces together and come up with a solution to help your children's body or your child's mind function at their personal best, once we discover what some of those triggers may have been. And with that, we do use an integrative approach where we may use herbal remedies, homeopathic remedies, peptides, IVs, and different innovative therapies, microRNA technology, stem cell therapy, just depending on what is appropriate for you and your family.
So I just lost you. Are you still here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I'm gonna stop you right there and jump right in and ask you a question if you don't mind. What are some of those identifying factors? I mean, how can I tell? I mean, my niece, my nephew, my friend just had a baby. I mean, at what age? Is there an age that we can tell? I mean, that a child is affected by autism? I mean, or has symptoms that yet of autism? I mean, how can we tell? And is there a way of telling before that baby is born? I mean, that's even going to be the case.
So, there is no way currently to be able to detect if there's a risk before the child is born, except that maybe if there is a close relative or family member with the diagnosis, or even ADHD. In our world, ADHD and autism is kind of on the same spectrum, just at tail ends, and there's a lot of overlap with some of the symptoms and causal factors as well. However, this is why it's really, really important that you find a good pediatrician with whom you have a good rapport, that listens and that takes the time and does a full exam, because each visit is set at a specific time. So 2 days after birth, 2 weeks, 1 month, 2, 4, 6, 9, 12 months. And part of that exam is supposed to be to look at, discuss, and interview with you and observe developmental milestones to make sure that your child is meeting the milestones that are expected. And when you leave, you should also get a paper that goes over anticipatory guidance, so things to look for and to expect between now and your next appointment. And unfortunately, many families do have to advocate for ourselves, especially families of color, Black people in particular. Sometimes, especially if you're seeing a physician that doesn't look like you, the expectations of development may be different and lower, or your concerns may be brushed off. If you're saying, hey, my kid is not talking, oh, that's fine, he's just a boy, we'll get over it. No, that may be a very early sign. And so you need to find someone that's going to listen to you and take the time with you and that you feel comfortable with, and that's going to advocate, monitor, and fight for you if they do discover something is amiss.
And support groups. Are there support groups, I mean, for autism? I mean, like you said, I mean, it's growing, you're connecting, awareness is there. But there's also a stigma, if you may, that's attached to autism, just like mental illness and so on and so forth, especially in our community, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Address that.
So there are a couple of things with that in mind, going back to what you asked me earlier about picking it up and what can be diagnosed and picked up. So just a few decades ago, the number for autism was 1 in 10,000 kids. Now it's 1 in 36.
Okay. Can you repeat that? Did you just say 1 in 36?
1 in 36 children. Yes, that's how common it was. And if you think back to when you were younger, there may have been 1 classroom or 2 in your high school with children with special needs of all varieties, right? Now they're 4th grade full of children, 4th classroom full of children. And say that to say, number one, again, to refer to your earlier question, there is not one gene that's doing this. You do not get a genetic shift like that in a matter of decades. That takes thousands of years. So there are several or many factors that are involved here. There are a lot of support groups. I'm in a couple as a mom, and then, of course, as a physician. And there's some specific for us. There's a Black Autism Moms group on Facebook. So choose wisely and be careful, because everyone isn't on the same page in terms of their philosophy regarding biomedical support and intervention. There is a stigma, and to your point, you do hear sad stories. Well, he's just bad, you just need to look up. No, that's not it. They genuinely may not be able to process what you're requiring or requesting of them and able to execute it. So it is very important to get support. And again, that can start with having a physician that, again, looks like you, is competent, and has the time and cares enough to sit and listen and be supportive and help you.
Interesting. Interesting. This is powerful. This is so powerful because, like anything else, misinformation or lack thereof, I mean, is a thing. And in our community, would you say? Because I've heard Pastor Rob, you could say that. I mean, would you say that? I mean,
Yes, and also you might have a negative side to it, people think negatively, but it's also known that what people with autism have a special gift, or sometimes very special gifts that if you find out what here, you know, I'm not expert, I'm just speaking from what, you know, that they excel in. So I'll have the doctor speak on that.
So what I will say is, you know, this is from literally a Trivial Pursuit question back in the 80s. The most common occupation of a parent with a child on the spectrum is an engineer.
Okay.
Many of our parents are engineers, doctors, pharmacists, chemists, pilots, accountants, people with highly analytical positions. And some of those same things that set you up for being very smart and having a high IQ also set you up for sometimes to giddy up with inflammation in your immune function. Okay, so that's the first thing. Children on the spectrum are not unintelligent. Some of them are very intelligent. They're just incapable of expressing it in the same way that we do. And so it's also very important when you are looking for a therapist for your child, whether it's occupational therapy, applied behavioral analysis, that you find someone that sees your child and not their label. Part of the autism is there's one diagnostic code for all of autism, but they're like 10 for a finger injury. That is a disservice to the people on the spectrum and the providers for those people on the spectrum. Because if you walk in and I see the code autism as your diagnosis, that tells me virtually nothing. I don't know if you walk in and sit down and have a whole conversation with me, or if you're going to be running around in circles while I'm trying to talk to your mom and figure out what's going on, and she's trying to get you to be quiet. And I'm like, he's not bothering me, he's fine.
Good.
Focus on
I love it.
And so there are a lot of options that are available now as well in terms of support and therapies and awareness and communication devices. And the more that, you know, I've been in this side of medicine, the more that I learn. We learn from other parents, we learn from other providers. Again, we learn as we walk our own children through this process. And there is not a one size fits all. There are some overlapping things and some commonalities, but there are different therapies that this may not be quite appropriate for you at 3, but maybe when you're 8, you're ready to do that. And again, don't assume because you had a bad experience with ABA, it is provider dependent. Just with any specialty, there are great people that have a gift, and then there are other people, maybe not so much, to put it nicely. And even within, say, speech therapy, there are speech therapists that focus on auditory processing. There are speech therapists that focus on the oral motor coordination. There are speech therapists that focus on communication and functional speech. So even within all of the different disciplines, you may have a good experience with someone and then you might plateau because maybe it's time to transition to a different provider that can offer different things.
Wow.
So nothing one size fits all. And so you have to find what works best for you. And if you have to advocate, you have to advocate for, just with insurance to get them to cover things. I remember when my child was young, every 6 months I would show up to therapy and they would say, oh, your therapy is no longer covering it. Okay, here we go. It's another 90-minute phone call with 6 people. They need to just flag my chart. This lady's on call. The therapy place is going to call. We're going ahead and just reapprove it because we're not doing that game. And it's very unfortunate, especially if English isn't your first language. It's very, very difficult to navigate those phone calls. And I was directly lied to on the phone multiple times by our first insurance company. And it wasn't until I said, that's not true. Let me stop you there. I'm a board certified pediatrician and you're giving me misinformation. And then, it was changed. So I cannot imagine for someone who does not have the skill set that I have from the other side of the table, how difficult that must be for them to navigate. And there are advocates that will help. There are educational advocates because you have to be careful with the school system as well. Your child has a right for services to be provided. And if that school, that public school cannot provide it, they are to bus your child to a school that can. Then there are also here in the state of Georgia, there are waivers where you can take the funds that are allotted for your child to get social services in school, and you can transfer those over to a private school that accepts those funds to help supplement the tuition to attend a private school and still get those services there. There are a lot of specialized private schools for dyslexia, autism, and other special needs. So there's a lot of support information, but you do have to connect with other families so that you can be made aware of what is available in your state and your location.
Okay. Good.
And my mind is just racing because when it comes to these, situations, you said you unpacked a whole lot. I mean, a whole lot. And why I can speak to this is I have a friend who has a young daughter who's on the spectrum. But when I tell you, she's smarter than three of us put together. I mean, she's a historian. She's this. She's really awesome. Then there's another acquaintance of mine who has a child, and he's smart too. He's and they're very intuitive. I mean, and so it bothers me to no end that patience is a virtue, as we would say. But there's a situation and I digress. But this particular family was together, a great family, and as soon as that baby was diagnosed, Pastor Rob, diagnosed with autism, do you know that brother man checked out? He says, I don't have any patience for this. I can't handle this. It's scary. But you know what? In our community, it's taboo to have autism, mental health issues, whatever, cancer, whatever the disease is, whatever the condition is. And so I think awareness and more awareness and inclusivity, I mean, we have to be humanized all over again, reconditioned all over again as a community, because, when I can look at someone with a condition and feel sad and feel sorry for them, or the opposite, don't feel any compassion for them, that's a problem. This is when the community needs more. You know what I'm saying, Pastor Rob? We need to just put our arms around, lock arms, and look out, because, wow, I can go back to my childhood, and I knew a young lady who had autism, but I didn't know that's what it was. We called it another name because we had no real sensible label for it. And that young lady was smart. She was brilliant. She was high functioning. But she was mistreated because she was teased. She was bullied. And I remember hating that. And I couldn't do anything about it because she wasn't like us. She wasn't normal like us, so to speak. And I'm like, that is just the most.
And I'm just so glad that I was able to connect with you. Autism awareness does not end today.
Right.
And I'm getting a little emotional because it really doesn't. It starts today. We have to become aware. We have to lock arms. We have to surround each other. We have to be our brothers and sisters' keeper. And we've got to give help, because you know what I see, Doc? I can see a baby who has just one parent, or probably no parents, probably has a guardian, a grandmother, because mom says, I'm embarrassed because I produced a child with this issue. Dad checked out, and guess what? Grandma's taking care. And that child gets on the bus, goes to school, and is bullied, is mistreated, because I know of cases like those. That bothers me. So excuse me for being emotional, but that's how I feel. I'm passionate about that, and it's crap. We need to do better as a community, and we need to stand up for this matter in particular. And guess what? I'm locking arms with you starting today. So guess what? You got another advocate in me.
Okay, Doc.
I just want to.
Okay,
I just want to say two things when you finish. Go ahead.
I'm not hearing her.
No, I'm not hearing you, Doc.
Okay, all right. So I have a cousin in Florida, and I went to spend a couple of days with them, and they have a young man. He's a young man now that suffers from autism, and that's probably one of my closest experience with. We're very quiet, very smart, and and she was relaying to me that he did not speak until the age of like 16, 17. And then all of a sudden, he just started to speak.
Yeah.
And then he was able to tell stories of people that were abusing him on the bus, doing that, and it all came out. So that is why I believe that we have to be careful, because the fact that they're not, they have the trouble to communicate doesn't mean that their brains are not working. And that's and that's awareness, that's why we really, Sharon, that's where we really have to educate the public, so to speak, on this, and let folks know that, hey, some of these things are not permanent, they are temporary, and we have to be careful how we treat people.
Yes, yes.
So a couple of things on that note. We don't believe there's a window. So, some people think, well, the brain's developing until you're 3, and if you don't hurry up, there's a little bit of truth to that. But, the prefrontal cortex doesn't develop until the mid-20s, and in some males later than that. And we have seen growth and improvement in kids and young adults of all ages in our practice, depending on the interventions that we have utilized. And I wanted to speak to the gifts that you spoke to earlier.
Yes.
Many of them do have intuitive or otherworldly gifts.
Yes.
And I remember becoming uncomfortable with when we would encounter people telling my son, say hi, say hi. It just didn't sit well with me, because I realized that he had a barometer of people. And one of the Chinese medicine doctors that we saw said that they believe that sometimes they avoid eye contact because when we look at people, we see people. When they look at people, they see all their stuff. And it's too much to handle, too much to bear. And so I got to the habit of asking my son, would you like to say hi?
Wow.
And I think even with neurotypical kids, there's that relative that the kids don't want to go to. There's a reason. There's a reason, and that's another issue in our community. So I don't force him to talk to, engage, or play with. I want him to be able to advocate for himself. It's not rude if you don't feel safe speaking to someone, right? So that's one thing that I wanted to talk about. And then you talked about, the shame in our community. One of my line sisters actually went to Ghana not that long ago, and she posted about and spoke about with her son that's on the spectrum. He was getting a little anxious and making some noise, and she was about to take him out of the event, and the MC was like, no, he's fine. And it was just to hear story after story of how well they were received there was very nice to hear, that at least in that part of the diaspora, that children are not shunned or shamed. And then I also wanted to speak to what you said about, single mom, grandmom, people being abandoned and needing support. They have done studies, and the physiology of a special needs mom or special needs parent is likened to the physiology of a war veteran in terms of PTSD. The constant on edge and constant stress and strain. Is he gonna, dart out in traffic? Is she gonna, break something? All those types of things. You're always on red alert. And we have families, including my own, we didn't sleep for years, or at least I didn't. If there was something stressful that happened, one of his grandfathers passed. There was another tragedy in a very close friend of mine, and he didn't sleep for weeks. I mean, stuff. And that's actually when I first went to a Chinese medicine doctor, and we started getting acupressure and acupuncture and things like that. Because like something is wrong. And, the vitamin D, it was helpful before, but it's not doing anything now. We need bigger guns.
Yes.
And so, just the constant stress and strain and lack of ability to do self-care. And so it's really important also to tap into respite care, or maybe partnering with other, parents that have children on the spectrum. Hey, you can drop your kid off here for 2 hours so you can go get your nails done or your hair done, or just go sit without having to worry about, something happening, and vice versa.
Pastor
we need to
Rob,
start doing it again.
Let me tell you, Dr. Maia, I'm just going to, I hate to do this to you, because I need you, seriously, I need to hold until we need an entire show with her.
Of course.
I'm so serious about that. A couple of series of shows, to be honest, because this awareness, I'm sure I'm not the only person who doesn't have a clue. I'm sure I'm not. Right, Pastor Rob? I mean,
Yeah,
we're not the only ones.
We all need more.
We need awareness.
Awareness, you know.
So, because we've got a jam-packed evening, we're running crazy here. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna be talking to you like tomorrow morning to get you back on the schedule because we're gonna have you in this house speaking about that, bringing awareness to our folks. Because not only that, there are other platforms within this organization, this studio, this company, and we need to extend it. So, I mean, my mind is already going a mile a minute. I'm so encouraged by you even taking the time out of your schedule with your special, loved one, your son, your prince. And I just want to say you're welcome to come back anytime.
It would be my
Really
pleasure.
are. We thank you. We honor you. And wow, how amazing is this?
Hey, Sharon.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Sharon.
Yes.
I'm just going to plug in. The M Center is having an open house on the 16th of May. Drop in from 1 to 6. So if anyone needs more information, they can just come by, see what we're all about. Okay?
And tell me, and can you send that information all over again, Doc?
So it's the M Center for Pediatric Wellness. We're at 1240 Upper Hembry Road, Suite A. We'll be having an open house on Thursday, May 16th from 1 to 6. It's a drop-in, so you guys can drop in anytime. You can come learn more about us, see what we're all about. We're not your typical pediatric group. We're all about functional. We're all about finding about what the root cause of what happened. We don't just throw medication. We find out what it is that's causing this problem and attack that issue.
Gotcha. So you know what? Can you text me that information? Because before the show ends tonight, we'll be sending that out. And I'm also going to post it up on my platform. Pastor Rob, all of us here are going to push this because this needs to be a topic, an everyday topic. This is what we need to do. So I just want to say thank you again, ladies. We're honored to have you. We're really honored to have you. We're blessed. Yeah. We thank you so very much for taking your time out of your hectic schedule to do this. Have a good night. Appreciate you again. Thank you so much. Bye. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. What an evening, Pastor Rob.
So far, so good. Quite a bit of information from those two young
Doctors,
ladies,
yes,
doctors.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
We learned something there, and and it teaches us something too. We at an entire month, we just got it at the end of the month, so we're gonna make sure we do better next time, and catch it early. So we'll have several different shows on autism, so to speak, so we can be more informed. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So who do we have here, Sharon?
Oh my goodness. So we've got Alethea Renee Bonello. She's an activist. She's a she's a national field coordinator, Black Voters Matter fund and organization, and so on and so on and so. She's a civil and human rights advocate. Let's just put it in a nutshell. She is from the beautiful, the amazing island of Jamaica. Welcome, Miss Alethea. Welcome to the studios. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
How
for
are
having
you?
me. I'm well. Blessed to be in the place.
Tell us what this civil and human rights advocacy, what's that title all about? Because titles, I get
Sounds
confused.
kind of heavy to me.
It
you know?
does. What is that?
It sounds heavy, but at the end of the day, I believe that everybody has the right to be seen, to be heard, and to be showed up fully and unapologetically as they are. And so I fight for that opportunity for any and everybody.
Wow.
Nice.
Love
Wow,
that.
Pastor Rob, how did she get started? I know that's where you're going.
Make sure you have the camera fully on her, because
Yes,
you want to show
yes.
up fully.
Yes, and make sure you drop to the microphone because we want everybody hearing you
hearing
loud
you,
and
of course,
clear.
Of course.
I mean, that is what it is. Let me tell you, like a nanny, that's what she reminded me of. Her stance when I met her.
I like her colors and her shirt too.
That's what her shirt says.
Quite festive to
Black
say the least.
voters matter.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, maybe that's a good place for us to start the conversation. Why?
Absolutely.
Why should we matter?
Oh, we most certainly matter. As people say, everybody likes our rhythm, but not our blues, right? They love black
Say
culture.
it again. I love that. What?
So everybody loves our rhythm, but not our blues. Everyone loves black culture, but they don't seem to love black people. So we want to remind them in the ballot box that yes, indeed, not only are black people important, but our votes matter. We've seen it, especially here in Georgia, from 2018 and definitely 2020, and we'll come back 2022. And because of the pouring out of citizens that have come out to vote, they have tried to change the rules now that we've learned them, and they're trying to suppress our vote. So when we talk about Black Voters Matter, it matters not only in the ballot box, but when we show up and run for office, as we see so many people are doing, that it's important that we have representation. People that not only look like us, but believe and think like us, to be able to ensure that the resources we need and we deserve are given to our communities. And if they don't do what we've asked them to do, then we need to vote them out and get people in there that will, in fact, represent our needs, our ideals, and our values.
Wow.
Power packed. Talk about packing up punch. That's not in Jamaica. We call it a thump.
Yes.
I don't know how you spell that one, but it's a punch. It's a punch for the Americans listening and other folks. But a thump, that's a good punch, because really, information is key. I mean, honestly, information is key, and that's what it is. Awareness is key. A lot of people, Alethea, when they say, like I hear people say, Pastor Rob, I don't vote because anybody I vote for, them not doing nothing for me, and whatever. Speak to that part, because that gets my goat. When people say they don't vote, I don't want to have conversations with them. I won't tell you what I think of them, but
Well,
I don't think too
certainly,
much.
voting has to become a culture and a shift of a mindset, right? It's not about just showing up every 4 years. It's not about just showing up for the election, but you also need to not only be registered, but you need to be an informed voter. You need to be able to go ahead and find out about the candidates, what they stand for, because you're not necessarily just voting for the candidates, but you also have to understand the positions that they're running for. You need to know who's responsible for my utility bills. You need to know who is the one who is managing going and creating these regulations that affect my life on an everyday basis. Who is coming up with these ordinances with these tickets during the school zone area? You know, you need to know whether it's the city council or the county commission. You need to understand what their functions are. And again, to make sure that the right people are in the right place doing what they need to do for you. And in addition to that, you need to have a voting plan. So it's not just say, boy, I guess my for call and vote today. But sometimes things get in the way and you have the intention of voting, but life happens and you don't have a chance to vote. That's why we have to use the technology and to be able to go ahead and schedule time in your calendar for the day that you're going to vote and make sure you do it. And not only that, we have to make sure that we are accountable to others in our lives and take 5 with us. What do I mean by that? You need to make sure that you're texting, you have all of group chat, that you're texting in the group chat. Make sure, say you come out, and post your peach. So make sure that they show you the sticker and hold them accountable. Because, so many people want to do the right thing, but they somehow forget. But we have to be on watch this time around. Every year we say, this is the most important election. But trust me, if you see what has happened from 2022 to now, you understand that when these people get in position that don't look like you or don't think like you, they are going to put their interests ahead of yours. And so if you want to ensure that what you believe in shows up every time on these levels of government, then you've got to show up and you've got to vote. It's so important.
Wow. And because time is of the essence, tonight's show is so power-packed, Pastor Rob. Girlfriend, we appreciate you even really traveling as you do. I mean, travel as you do. I mean, you're never here. You're never here where you reside in Georgia. And I'm just going to wrap this up by saying, give the folks the information they need. Give them the food. Just let them know how they can reach the information that they need to be informed like they should be.
Sure. In a nutshell, we have the primary elections coming up May 21st. Early voting will start on April 29th. It's already started until May 17th. If you cannot vote Monday through Friday, Saturday voting is May 4th through the 11th. And again, election day is May 21st. If you don't know if you're registered to vote, if you don't know where your polling site is, go to Georgia My Voter page, Google it, and there you'll be able to go ahead and pull up your information, find out where your polling site is before you go, and make sure you're registered to vote. And you can also print out your sample ballot, which is really important. There are 8 initiatives on the ballot initiatives that you need to understand, from reproductive justice to public education. It runs the gamut. So be informed, be educated, advocate, and go out there and vote. And to reach me, Black Voters Matter Fund again. And if you want to stay connected, text the number 25225 and text the message "We Matter" to stay connected with our organization.
Wow, that's powerful right there. Powerful.
Wow, mic drop.
Information, powerful information, and information that is timely.
Very
right
timely.
on time.
Very
And she
timely.
says the process has already begun.
Yes.
So we ought to start thinking. Make sure it's a thinking process before we just go out there and just pull anything down.
Yes.
And so forth. Be organized about it, and go out and make your vote count, so to speak. Yeah. And so I'm kind of surprised that there are individuals, and I mean, a lot of folks don't know that there are individuals like Althea out there.
Yeah.
That,
Alethea,
Lethea or just
Alethea.
Alethea. It must be been a Jamaican name, or
Yeah, man.
we take it and
Twist it and
twist it
curve
and turn it, and even if we
Creative.
didn't take it, when the person get it, they add, now I want to Lethea on it right here, Anyways, but yeah, it's good to know that we have people like yourself out there doing an excellent job, and I want to commend you and the organization for being there. And a lot of times, we as Caribbean people, and we are in the United States, we want to hear somebody, even though we're voting in the American system, we want to hear somebody that sounds just like us.
True.
Makes a difference. What do you think?
Yes. Yeah, man. Of course. And one last thing, we have something called Texting Tuesday. So if people want to text, they can certainly go to our website, blackvotersmatterfund.org, and volunteer and sign up to do Texting Tuesdays with us from 6 to 7 p.m.
Okay, very good. Very good. Very good. We have until May when?
May 4th. May 7th, what date is it?
In order to vote, yes, May 17th for early
17th.
voting, and May 21st is the day of elections.
Okay, wow. Not too much time left, so the earlier we get it done, the better it is. Okay.
After tomorrow, we only have 20 days after starting tomorrow. Well, we just want to say thank you again, Sister Bonello. I mean, I know I jacked that, right? Because I jack people's names. I mean, I can't pronounce all them fancy names. Bonello, Bonello. I mean, it's not a common name like Thompson.
Right. Okay.
But I appreciate you coming in. There you go. Right. Appreciate you for coming in. Keep working. I mean, I can't even say that enough because that's what you do.
Real quick though, is this something that you always did here, or did you start from back in Jamaica?
Actually, here in America, from New York to Florida, Baltimore, now here.
Okay. Wow.
How you mean? Let me tell you, man. It's the kind of person you want in your corner. I mean, seriously, to educate you because the voting process is not an easy process.
Yes, a serious process.
I mean, you need to be educated as to how to vote and who to vote for and why you're voting for who you're casting your vote. It's really a thing, and I mean, it's a necessity.
Yes.
So we just want to say thank you again, sister, for coming in. We appreciate
Powerful
you.
Sister. Powerful sister.
We look forward to seeing you again right here.
Okay.
Thank you.
You have an open door right here. Welcome back.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Very good.
Thank you.
Wow. Reds. Man. Mic drop. Mic drop.
Test. Like test cricket or a plane on the runway. Don't try get away, woman.
To be as good as the best of them and as bad as the worst. So don't test me. Don't try and push me over, yeah. I can be as good as the best of them and as bad as the worst. So don't test me. You better move over.
I will put it to a test, but you better pass it. Put it to a test, me never disrespect. Put it to a test, is not the worst among the best. Put it to a test, girl, you love the greatest. I'm not looking for the good, I'm looking for the best. Still not the best, but you, me request is you I request. Until death, and I would never try to disrespect. Like, come to the eye and to tear off the chest. Beat you in the east and beat you in the west.
To be as good as the best of them and as bad as the worst. So don't test me. Don't try and push me over, yeah. I can be as good as the best of them and as bad as the worst. So don't test me. You better move over, yeah.
It's not the best, so you's not the worst. So I am the patient, come you'll be the nurse. Just like the water come quench my love thirst. And no matter what you do, you coulda never get hurt. If a guy touch you, him happy in the dirt. Me just stop about him back and him head top first. If me put you to a test, so man, you better pass it. If you
Yes, indeed. We're back on Caribbean Extravaganza on a Tuesday evening. Welcome back to the show. Wow, we got this thing rolling this evening, huh?
We do.
A whole lot of information coming from the left, from the right, up and down and straight around. As they say, we are best as the best of them, as the music says, But it's good to be here this evening, and we have another guest coming up here right this very minute. Well, we want to thank her for her patience. And Sharon, why don't you go ahead and introduce her to us?
Miss Holder, Sophia Holder. from the
Okay.
beautiful, the gorgeous island of Barbados.
Ooh, I love
this
Barbados,
chick is
man.
hot. I
Yeah.
mean, she's a firecracker. Right there. So when you see Sophie, you never see her looking the same any given day. You can see her today, and tomorrow you
Right.
see her, you don't recognize her.
Okay.
I mean, dressed to the nine. I mean, she's a carnival queen. She's an educator. She's this. I mean, she's everything. She is what? Don't let me get started. Don't let the people know what I know. But anyway, she's here representing UBIG. Okay, United Barbadians in Georgia. And let me
Okay.
tell you
Wow.
something. This little powerhouse. Don't let that little package fool you.
Okay.
Okay, she's packing punches. Just go ahead and introduce. She's a president. She's a founder. And listen, go right ahead and tell us all about what you do, my dear, because they have a very important event coming up, and we want you to share with the public.
Well, first I have to say thank you, Sharon, because I didn't know I was a powerhouse. So that felt really good to hear tonight, you know.
You are.
Every now and again, it feels good to get those kind of kudos. So from one sister to the other, respect, sis. I appreciate you. That was very, very much valued. Very, very, very valued. Yes. I know you had a full show tonight, and we're following in on a lighter note. But I do wanted to say that I have a nephew who's autistic as well, and he's nonverbal. So we've worked and learned with that within our family. So bringing awareness to those kind of things is very important, and we appreciate you doing so. And in saying that, that's one of the main reasons why we have United Barbadians in Georgia. We're a grassroots organization, and we're founded with the mission to support polytechnics in Barbados. And right now we're on a mission to with the St. Philip Polytechnic and the Polytechnic in St. Peter. St. Philip is on the south side of the island. The St. Peter is on the north side of the island. So they're on the two different sides of the island, trying to give leeway to help with the hospital, because as we have one hospital, right? Barbados is an island that's flourishing. We do really, really well in Barbados. We can't complain.
Yes.
But like anywhere else, our healthcare is a challenge. And with one hospital, everything falls on that hospital.
Wow.
So if we can do our little part over here to help out Applaudi Clinic, they can service the people with non-emergencies.
That's
This gives the hospital what they need to be able to deal with the emergencies is what UBIG is all about. And that's our direction. That's our mission of where we're going. And to do so, social constructs, different types of events that we're going to be bringing to the community. UBIG is founded by a bunch of young women in that sweet spot of their life, right? Where we're not too little, so we don't want to club and do it and dip it. But we're not too old not to club it, do it, and dip it. So
I like
we're
that.
creating a sweet spot where we are creating those social avenues for where we can come out, we can socialize with our peers, with our colleagues, feel safe, feel comfortable, and for the good of raising funds for our community and our country, right? And that's UBIG in a nutshell, sweetie.
And let me tell you, I am so proud to hear that, because I've known her before UBIG. And Sophie, yes, you're a powerhouse. I don't care what you tell me. Pastor Shaw, I know her, okay? And this young lady will fight you for Barbados.
That's all right now.
And I love that. You know what I mean? So when people say, oh, Jamaicans are this, don't play around, don't mess around. Because they're those quiet, whatever, hoity-toity Bajans. I know quite a few of them. But this one, let me tell you something, firecracker.
It's called Bajan pride.
That's all right.
That's the part. Bajan pride. I love that.
And you know something, you know, I don't blame anybody, you know what I'm saying, because if that's where I'm born, bred, and grew up, I'm going to fight for it too.
Yes, that's where my neighbor Stringberry.
You know, so if I have a Barbadian in front of me and they're not fighting for them, I'm going to look at it like something's wrong, you know?
Yes.
So why you not fighting for yours, you know?
And she does. She does. Every chance she get, let me bust her again. She there Barbados.
Well, that's
seriously,
good.
in Barbados. I mean, because she's doing what needs to be done to represent, and I so applaud you.
Right.
I see your passion. I see your drive. I see what you do for your community, for your little island of Barbados. Let me tell you, them need people, more people like you. So
let's hear from her. Let's hear from her about some of the things that she actually does.
Oh my
goodness! Let me hear from you some of the things that you actually do.
We have our Mother's Day Spring Garden Moms in Bloom events coming up Pre-Mother's Day. That's the
Yes.
Saturday, May 11th.
Okay.
From 2 to 6 p.m.
Yes.
That is going to be at Lakeview Estates, right
Yeah.
here in Lithonia.
All right.
All right?
Okay.
It's an outdoor event. We're going to
Okay.
have door prizes.
All right now.
Spring Garden in Barbados, when we finish our crop over, we
Yeah.
come down to Spring Garden, and Spring Garden lands by the water. So our Spring Garden event is by a lake, landing by the water with a beautiful view.
Okay.
We're bringing something new. We're celebrating moms, right? We're embracing the mothers of our homeland,
Yes.
our mothers.
Yes, I love that.
And just taking that moment to stop and acknowledge and show them that appreciation. So on Mother's Day, you know, all the restaurants are overcrowded.
Yes.
Everyone has something going on. There's lots happening. So on that Saturday afternoon,
Yes.
you don't have to fight the long lines and wait for long reservations for the restaurants. You come out and you have brunch with us, featuring Bajan delicacies. You get free mimosas with your purchase of your ticket, and entertainment that's going to knock your socks off.
Wow.
It's going to be a fantastic event.
Can't afford to miss
Amazing. Can't afford to miss it. And right now, our tickets are selling so well. We are this close to selling out.
Wow.
So we need you to grab your tickets and come share an experience with us.
Anything she endorses, though, Pastor Rob, I know
Yes.
it, and I won't even go there, but anything she endorses
Right.
is a sell-off,
Yeah, man.
sold-out event.
Always.
So we're giving our blessings, and like you said, and acknowledged, Pastor Rob, we had a jam-packed evening when I tell you a whole lot of powerful information right here in the studio. So we just want to say thank
Yeah.
you for making the effort to come on out, come over all the way over here to the studio after a long day of work, just to push your country, represent your island of Barbados. We appreciate that. Look upon the colors, Pastor Rob.
Of course, I have to
You know,
represent. I have to
that's what they do now.
represent.
What you
Yes.
the thing that I really want to come for is something that she said before. The phrase is what no dance and dip and what was that part?
Do it and dip it.
Yeah. No,
Yes.
that hold me attention from long.
And then Spring Garden. because, you know,
Spring
there's a
Garden,
song.
yes, Spring
There's a song,
Garden
Spring
are coming, and we are coming,
Yes,
honey.
yes,
And you
yes,
can
yes.
get your tickets at
Yes.
ubig246.org,
Yes.
or you can Zelle to us at info@ubig246.org.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yes.
And that's pre-Mother's Day. That's
Pre-Mother's
next
Day.
Saturday,
Next
right?
Saturday, May 11th.
Yes.
Yes, 2 Saturdays to go.
Yes. and
Yeah,
tell
May
them again,
11th.
Where's
It's going to be Lakeview Estates in Lithonia. Time is from 2 to 6 p.m., so it's going to be
Okay.
short and sweet.
Wow, 2 to 6,
Nice.
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 Yes, just
Right
sweet.
there.
Nice,
Just
nice.
sweet.
Perfect time.
Perfect time, yes. Nice breeze coming from the
Yes,
lake,
from
the
the-
view.
oh,
The
boy.
view is spectacular.
That's what I'm
Okay.
talking
Yes.
about.
Thank you so much for having us.
Oh,
We
it's
appreciate
such
it
an
so
honor.
much.
Such an honor, and I
We
thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, you represent well. So for all the Bajans out there and the non-Bajans, go out and support UBIG next Saturday, the 11th of May. Okay, don't forget that.
And remember, we're one Caribbean, so not just
Oh, yeah.
Bajans.
You
Everybody
kidding me?
welcome to this
Everybody.
event, you know.
All of us.
We
All
all
of us.
must
We
come
won.
out.
Yes,
We won.
right.
We won.
One
Right,
people,
that's
one
right.
love.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right.
One love, and that's what
Yeah.
she represents. Because Pastor Rob,
Yeah.
it no matter which island in or which whatever it represent,
Yeah.
Sophie's there.
Yeah, man.
They
that
think
is
it's me
good,
alone.
man. Yeah.
See her there?
Yeah. Well,
She
that's
support
good.
everybody. It doesn't matter. Sophie is there supporting, and that's why I big you up. I really acknowledge and appreciate what you do in the community.
I humbly accept that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate
Very
it.
good.
man.
And
Wow.
who's your camera lady? We're going to introduce her before she doesn't
She's
want
shy. That's my VP.
okay.
But she just rides with me.
Hi, VP. How you
Yes,
doing?
That's my
Okay.
VP. She's
All
shy.
right. All right. Very good.
Yes, but
Very
without
supportive.
her, she's a rock.
All right.
Yes.
Then.
Shadows falling, baby. We stand alone. Out on the street, everybody you meet got a heartache of their own. It ought to be It's gotta be illegal. Make it a crime to be out in the cold. It ought to be illegal. You got a reason for living, you battle on. With the love you're building up, you gotta be mine. You can't get away. It's gotta be night and day, just a matter of time. And we got nothing to be guilty of. Our love, climbing a mountain, near or far. We are, and we'll never let it. We are devotion, and we got nothing to be sorry for. Our love is one in a million. Eyes can't see that we got a highway to the sky. You wanna hear your goodbye? I don't wanna hear you. And we got nothing to be.
Okay, so we have quite a island mix in here this evening.
Boy, we do, and we've got the most patient person that I know on this planet,
Yes,
Mr.
indeed.
Muir himself in Florida, South Florida.
All right.
Wow, Mr. David Muir, can you hear us? Are you there? Let's see. Turn him in, turn him up. Wow. Reggae genealogy. Big up. Can you hear us? That's him right there. So, I'm not hearing him. Let's see.
Okay, we'll just go and take a little minute or so, and then DJ Reds will get him on here for us.
Can you hear us now?
Okay.
I'm not hearing him at all.
Okay, so
David, are you there?
speak to us a little bit, David. Let's hear your voice.
Sir?
I guess he's not hearing us. That's what it is.
I mean, we can see him. Yeah. We know he's there, but I mean.
Good morning again.
Morning again, Frederick. Appreciate your patience. But let me tell you, the hot topics that we had this evening, I mean, was amazing. We appreciate you coming in and being so patient because you've been on from jump. But David, we're not going through the whole bio, you know, because people have a bio that is pages long. I'm just gonna cut into it.
Don't need any bio for me, and that bio is not even half of what I do. So.
Oh, I know that.
That's all right.
I know that part. Pieces of Jamaica. I have that book, so I know all about you. or no, let me take it back.
Which one you have? Yeah, which one you have?
Oh my God, I got it probably about. I know it's before COVID, so I've had it probably 2012, 13.
So you have this one. You have this one.
That's the one I have. How you know? You in my house?
Because it's time you said when it came out.
Yes.
Right? Like for example, this is another piece of Jamaica. You don't have this one.
No, I don't have that one yet. Okay, birthday is October 21st. You hear? So Mr. Muir, the man of many talents from South, he resides in South Florida, Pastor Rob. People.
Very good.
He's a photo artist. He's an author. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's one of those that established the first Caribbean museum in Florida. In Florida.
That's great.
Oh yeah.
No,
I mean,
no.
Let me fix that. Correct me. Fix it. Come, go on with it.
So I you didn't want to read a bio anyway. But let me just be very clear. It is the first Caribbean museum in the world. I hear you talking about Florida. There is no other Caribbean museum anywhere in the world. So it is, or I would love to be corrected. If you find one, please let me know. It's the only Caribbean Heritage Museum to exist anywhere. And yes, it is in Florida. It is in the U.S., the first in the U.S., the first in Florida. But there is no other Caribbean museum anywhere in the world. There is no place that celebrates our heritage, which is why it was overdue to have and to begin the first Caribbean museum.
Love that. Love that. What inspired that though, David? Because I mean, honestly, I mean,
It's a long story. How much time you gonna give?
Jesus, look, go on until next Friday.
All right. So let me start. So go till next Friday. It started with my business partner. So my business partner is a young lady by the name of Philippe. She actually produced the very first ever Caribbean cooking television series in America called Taste the Island. It was nationwide and in 46 states broadcast with Chef Irie from Jamaica, Chef Tia from Haiti. And it was a tremendously successful show. I worked on the show as one of the staff, working for my business partner. But coming out of that show, a lot of people asked the question, where can we get to try the food of these Caribbean folks? And there was no restaurant being run by these chefs. So we decided to undertake the first experience that you could have to have the food from these various Caribbean islands. So we started a food festival called Taste the Island Experience, following up from that television show. That spawned from that many other businesses, one of which was that when we were doing the Taste the Island Experience, we were looking for ways to get people more engaged, and we would have a culinary museum as a part of the event. So when people came, they could learn about what were the cooking utensils, what type of pot, what type of implements were used to make the roti and the dal and all the different things and the dumpling. And so they learned all about the different items. I don't know if you're familiar with the Jerk Festival. The preparers of the Jerk Festival came to our festival. This is wonderful. We'd love if you could take this culinary museum and bring it to the Jerk Festival. So we did that, and that started having people ask, well, you know, where can we see these artifacts and these museum items somewhere permanent? And so we undertook to take the artifacts on a traveling show, and we went to multiple different libraries and museums and things of that like. And the attraction just kept building and building. So many other things occurred, but to cut it down to a short story, when COVID hit, and we were really without the levels of work that we typically would have, so we were not so busy anymore. We said, well, now is the perfect time to build a permanent space. And so during the first few months of COVID, we found the permanent space. We built out all of the things, the architecture internally, and we opened that year in 2020. And so in 2020, that was the first Caribbean museum to exist in the world. And we're 4 years later, we're going strong. Everything is wonderful. And we're very, very proud of the work that we're doing.
Wow. Man. So proud of the work you're doing. Let me tell you. David, while you were speaking, again, my wheels were turning. And when you said take the show on the road, you answer the question before I ask it. You read my mind, because what I want to tell you is that COVID over. So for those, yes, COVID is still around. We get that. But you know what? The road, I mean, talk about road trip. Road trip, David, because here in Atlanta, we're deprived. We have things going on, but every time when I see one of the activities there, I want to move back to Florida. And I used to live in Florida, a certain part of Florida. I won't tell you where. Sunset Strip, right off Pine Island Boulevard. So, I mean...
We were neighbors. I live very close. I said we were neighbors.
See that?
I live very close to Sunset Strip, Pine Island.
Yeah, my uncle still lives there.
Wonderful.
So here's the deal. Taking the show on the road, because just like anything else, you know, we have to bring our culture to the people. I mean, yes, people travel, people, you know, congregate, they do what they drive, you know, they fly, whatever they have to do to get there. But David, this is critical, because everybody, every time you talk to somebody, no matter what part of the world you go, they might have something called jerk. I mean, it's jerk chicken, jerk fish, jerk potato, jerk egg, you name it, they jerk everything. Them jerk anything, jerk everything.
Jerk ice cream.
Hello. So you know what I'm saying? So when I hear you speaking, I'm going road trip. That's all. That is what come up in my head, Pastor Rob. Road trip. road trip. When you gonna pick up and bring the stuff here? Because we've got something going on here too. I mean, we've got a museum here, but when you said it's the first of its kind, that blows my mind. And I'm wondering how many persons really know that this exists. I mean, how can they locate, or where can they find the information so they can contribute? They can go visit, because we go to all the museums. I mean, all over the world. I mean, where can they find your museum? I mean, where can they find it? What number? How can they contact you? And how can they, be a part of this?
It's very easy. So the name of the museum is Island Space.
Okay.
It's just that simple. So if you go and you search online for Island Space, you can find, whether it is on Instagram or Facebook, or our website is islandspacefl.org. So it's very simple, islandspacefl.org. At some point, we're going to have an islandspaceatl.org, but we're not there yet. But right now, anyone who wants to connect, you go to islandspacefl.org, and you can go right there. You can learn a lot about what we're doing. But all of our programming is on Eventbrite. Our programming is in, Instagram, Facebook, all the places that people can go to look. I mean, I don't personally use TikTok, but people tell me all the time, I saw it on TikTok and all of these things. So it's literally everywhere. What I would also say is that you mentioned some important factors, because, for example, we recently had this event, which I was showing you the event program on the screen.
Yes.
Event called Reggae Genealogy.
Yes.
So Reggae Genealogy is a production of Island Space Caribbean Museum. It's the first time ever doing a concert like this, where we chronicle the history of the music from this island of Jamaica, where I was born. And in doing so, we had a really spectacular turnout. We had the event right there where the museum is located. And we had a number of the Marley family come out, including, surprising to us, Rita Marley was there, Stadella was there. I mean, a lot of the Marleys were there. And they were so moved by the event that they came up on the stage and they promised to give us 3 outfits from Bob's, archive and a guitar. So coming up in a month, we're going to have the new unveiling at the Island Space Caribbean Museum, a brand new exhibit including Bob Marley's guitar and 3 outfits from his stuff. So these are the types of things that can happen. And since that time, we were contacted by the family of Peter Tosh. And Peter Tosh's family also agreed to do an exhibition at the Museum of Peter Tosh's artifacts. So this is to give you just an idea of what the impact can be. We currently have Usain Bolt's cleats or spikes or whatever you want to call those running shoes. And we have, items from Sean Paul and from Third World and from so many different musical people and athletes. We have cricket bats from the West Indies cricket team, signed by the greatest players of our time, whether it's Viv Richards or Brian Lara. Wow. All of these artifacts are there to be seen. And in addition to all these things that people can come and see, sure, we can bring them on the road as well. But there's only so many things you can fit in a traveling show. So you really want to plan to come to the only existing Caribbean museum, see things like the artifacts from the Taino Indians and from the Arawaks and from all these rich heritage that you can't go anywhere else in the world to see. So if you are from the Caribbean, whether you're coming from Suriname or Guyana, or you're coming from, I'm going to list out everywhere. You could come from Belize, you can come from Puerto Rico, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Dominica, whether it's the Windward Islands, the Leeward Islands, you can come from Turks and Caicos, from the Bahamas. We have things for everyone. It's the only Caribbean museum that exists in the world. So if you are of Caribbean heritage, just like earlier you had a lady who was there from Barbados, and just this past weekend we had an event held by the Barbadian consulate with their ambassador and everybody was there. They had Joel Garner and past cricketers from Barbados who came up to the museum to participate in the event held by the Consulate of Barbados. And these are the types of impactful events that are occurring. We have a mango festival. We have a rum cake festival.
Hold
we
on,
have,
it's a
like I
mango
told you,
festival. Stop right there, sir. Where's it? When is the mango
yeah,
festival?
exactly. But if people don't tune in, they're not going to be aware of all the different things that are happening at the Caribbean Museum.
Man, and tell them the number, tell them the website, tell them how they can, link the island space.
I can give you the phone number, but the phone number is not the right way to go. What you want to do is you want to go on either the website,
yes,
or you want to just go on Eventbrite and look up Island Space. There's so much activity.
And where's it located again? Give us that address.
It is located, like you said, it's Florida. It's in a place called the Broward Mall. So it's within the Broward
Right down
Mall.
the road. Okay.
Yes. Literally center of South Florida.
Yes.
It is at the intersection of University and Broward. You cannot go any more central than that.
I know exactly where that is.
North of Miami and south of Palm Beach. Right in Fort Lauderdale. Right. It's like there's no more set. That's why we chose that location to build a museum. Because we wanted a place that's most central that everybody can make it.
Kingston
no
30.
Reason not to do it.
Kingston 30, right?
Them say Kingston 21 in them. Don't ask me to tell you why it's 21. So I know Kingston finished at 20,
right,
and then call this year Kingston 21. But the next city after all of the Kingston one them is right there in South Florida. I don't think people realize, but 1 in every 4 people that live in South Florida or born in the Caribbean. That's a part of the census. And I'm saying that if you talk about born in the Caribbean, then first and second generation, you're talking about maybe 1 in every 3 people in South Florida come from the Caribbean or their parents. So you're really talking about a high concentration of Caribbean folks. So there was no reason for us not to have a place to celebrate our heritage and our culture.
Man, wow. That's, you know what, you're muted, David. We're not hearing your last words.
No, I know.
Okay.
No, I'm not muted. I was being respectful and let you talk too.
No. Okay. Wow.
All right.
Man, Pastor Rob, we have to make a trip there. We have to make a trip there, man, because let me tell you, my next trip to Florida, I will not come back to Georgia unless I pass through island space. You know, I mean, do you have gift shops and all the goodies there too? I mean,
absolutely.
That's what I'm talking
about. Since you mentioned gift shop, I will plug that. For example, my book is available in the gift shop.
Oh. And
this is one of 3 books that I have done that are available in the bookshop. So this is my most recent book, celebrating Jamaica's 60th anniversary of independence. We have this book called Pieces of Jamaica, one of my pride and joy. As you said earlier, I also had an earlier book with the same title. One is called Pieces of Jamaica, the Real Rock Edition, and this one is now called the Jam Rock Edition. So different images, different storytelling, absolutely. And then you also, when you come to the museum, another book that I was involved in, which is of course the Taste the Island book. I tell you about the TV show. We also have all the recipes in a wonderful cookbook. And so where else can you go to get a cookbook that has recipes from Haiti, Jamaica, Barbados, and all of these great Caribbean nations? So if you want a great Caribbean cookbook, you got to come to the museum and get one of our Taste the Island offerings.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's amazing, David. We thank you. We thank you for your patience, but we thank you for your contribution to the Caribbean community, at large.
Absolutely.
We thank you for that because you know what?
We're grateful to have the opportunity.
Absolutely. I thank you so very much. I mean, this is just what an amazing evening, Pastor Rob. What an amazing evening. I mean, to close it off right there. I mean, we thank you again, David. I mean, wow. When I tell you, Pastor Rob, you have to see the pictures. Boy, I show you the book. I bring the book and show you, but I can't let go of that book out of my sight. I can't let it go out of my sight. It's prize. It's my prized possession. Seriously, I mean, when I tell you some pictures, that will just blow your mind. Blow your mind. I mean, he's a photographer of sorts. I mean, he's amazing.
Very good.
Really
very good.
crazy. Really crazy. Amazing. David, I thank you.
I never want to focus on these, so I thank you for that. But let's focus on the museum. Tell everybody, come to Island Space. As a matter of fact, we have. I'm going to tell you one more thing. I know the time is up, but I want to just tell you,
yes.
Honestly, like recently, about 2 weeks ago, we had a workshop going on and just finished called Jamaican Instrument Building. So they were teaching people how to make banjo from scratch, not just buy some parts and screw it together. Talk about getting the skin and the cutting the bamboo and everything. Like these are the types of wonderful programming that we have at the museum. So I'm going to encourage people to find out if you can be a participant in person and you can be a participant virtually. And you're never going to stop looking for little things that you have in your basement or in your garage. People have things that they just put away and it's auntie old thing or grandma old thing or mommy old thing. And we will accept them as loans or donations to the museum. Things that you guys don't use anymore. So please get in touch. There's a lot that we can share with each other. And the only way we're going to tell the proper story is if people keep giving us their old artifacts that they're not using anymore. Maybe grandpa, they have an old war medal, or maybe you'd have an, just anything, an old oil lamp that was from down in Haiti in the 60s or in the 40s or whenever. And we would love to have these items to show and display to people what are the things that were used in different timelines. So please, everyone, islandspacefl.org. Connect with us there. That's our website, and you can donate. You can plan to come and to learn more about how you can participate in your culture and heritage.
We really appreciate that, David. You give Pastor Rob and I homework, because I go into Jamaica and I going up straight up to St. Andrew at Padmore to my granny house, and I go and go dig. I'm gonna go dig. I mean, and seriously, all them folks that I have that I know quite a few people who still have seniors around. My grandmother has passed, but I know quite a few people who still have elderly people that they can obtain certain things from. I mean, and so it would be good to contribute to that. I would love to.
Even be a stand iron or any other thing.
A duchy? Like David, a duchy? A Dutch pot?
A duchy, all of that, yeah.
Yes, I mean, something that my grandmother, I'm seriously going to look. I'm going to do some homework because I wish I had known about this, Pastor
All
Rob,
right,
but we appreciate you. We really appreciate it.
Come to the end of the show, so we're going to wrap it up right here.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so very much, David. We appreciate you.
Yeah. Very good.
All right. Blessings, my brother. Thank you again.
All right.
Wow.
Have a great night.
Have a good night. You too. Wow. Man, what an evening. What an evening. Nice. Pastor Rob, we did it again. Did we get Mel J?
We'll just make sure we get her on next week.
Okay.
For right now, the time is well gone, and we want to thank everyone for tuning in this evening. That's tuned in. We have quite a few people here this evening that came on as guests, and we want to thank each and every one for just coming on and sharing your information with us this evening. And we look forward to seeing you here next week again on Caribbean Extravaganza on CLTV, Caribbean Life Radio, Caribbeanlifetv. Until next week, we want to say, walk good, everyone. All right?
Walk good.
The time is right. Turn down the light and take my hand. We'll catch a flight and spend the night in Wonderland. Now move